I'm free.
Everyone, welcome back to the Camino Cafe podcast. I'm so excited to have you back here with me. We have a UK-based pilgrim who wrote a memoir about her Camino, and that is Kari Gillespie. And Carrie, welcome to the Camino Cafe.
Hi, very nice to join you. I've got my coffee ready.
I'm really excited, Carrie, because your book is our very first book selection for the Santiago de Compostela book club. And we have our first meeting this Saturday. There's so much excitement about this call. We have people from over 23 countries that are coming to this call, which you and I were just talking as we were meeting and everything here for this call, that, you know, it's a lot like a Camino, isn't it? That we have people from all around the world. And what a great way. It's going to be like the greatest Camino family, I think, on Saturday. So thank you for agreeing to be a part of this first meeting. And I just want to say to everyone, make sure that if you haven't already registered for the call, please do so. The links will be in the show notes. It's also on our Facebook page as well as our Facebook group. So make sure you get the link. And the only way you can get to that is by registering. So please do so. So that's this Saturday, August 5th. We have two call times, one at 11 a.m. Central European time, and the other one is at 8 p.m. Central European time. So you have two opportunities to make this call. You pick which one's going to work for you. And of course, you can come to either. And you get to meet Carrie. So this is a super big bonus. If you haven't yet read her book, that's okay. You're still welcome. If you have read her book, I know you're probably going to have questions for her. So this is a great opportunity to put a face with a name and to get to ask some more detailed questions about her book. Just to whet your appetite, we're going to play 20 Camino questions. She has no idea what I'm going to ask her, but everybody knows here I don't ask anything that's going to trip you up. But Carrie, are you ready for this challenge to play 20 Camino questions?
I think I am.
Okay,
Yes.
we're going to start with number one, and that is, you know, a lot of women particularly ask, is it safe for women to walk the Camino? And I just wonder, you know, what was it like for you? Did you feel safe? What was your situation?
I felt safe. I felt really safe. And I was walking with a friend, but there were sections of it. In fact, most of the time during the day, we started off at the same pace, and then our paces were slightly different because I stopped to take lots of photographs. So we were separate for a lot of the time, and I never felt unsafe. I felt always as if I was never too far from anyone. There were a couple of moments when we felt slightly freaked out, but I think that happens wherever you are. But I felt very safe. It was a really comfortable environment for me to be in.
Perfect. Me too. Okay. Other than your book, what is your favorite Camino book?
Well, I have to say it's John Brierley's Guidebook, which just touched my heart so much. Yes. And this month, particularly since we've lost him, that's the one. If I had to save one from the waves on my desert island, that would be the one I'd save. It was such a beautiful mixture of the practical path and the spiritual path, and it was just what I needed as a new pilgrim. It really kind of spoke to me. I heard his voice almost as we were walking.
Yes, yes. Now, I should say the name of your memoir is Pilgrim, Finding a New Way on the Camino de Santiago. And I wonder, when did you decide you were going to write this book?
When I was walking, I wrote a diary. I told the family that I would keep in touch by writing a post each day. I didn't want to be too much on my phone. And I really enjoyed that, but I had no intention of putting it into a book. It was only when I came back and a number of life events happened in the months that followed my return that made me think maybe I can do something more with this. And people who'd followed the journey said to me, you know, we really enjoyed your posts. Maybe you could do something more with this.
How many Caminos have you done? The one for that book?
After that, we did last year. We did the Portuguese from Porto, and then we went on to Finisterre. So that's another two, but it feels like a kind of two in one. Really.
I agree.
So that was another two, and I've actually done the Pilgrim's Way in England from Winchester to Canterbury, which was interesting. So yeah,
wonderful.
I suppose that's three proper ones.
Did you plan on walking another Camino?
Yes, I do. I'd really like to walk the new British Camino, which goes from London to Walsingham, which is a Marian shrine in Norfolk, and I'd really like to do that one next, I think. Okay. I'm also quite keen to do the Norte, but I'm just slightly anxious about the Norte. I feel like you've got to be super fit for that one. So
me too.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So on your next couple of walks, do you plan on walking solo, with another person, or with a group? What do you prefer to do?
Well, I have a kind of inkling that I'd quite like to do it on my own, but my husband is really nervous. I think he has this feeling, oh no, no, you shouldn't be on your own. But I think that I would like to walk solo, so I may do the Walsingham one solo just to give that a go. On it's about 2 weeks just to see how that feels. But I definitely have a little bit of a calling to do one on my own. I love
Mm.
being part of our group, the Sturdy Girls, but I I also wonder what it would be like to be by myself.
Okay. And when you look back to that very first Camino, what was going through your mind? You see on the Facebook post people asking like, "Oh, what about this? What about that?" And there's a lot of worries out there.
Yeah.
Could you think back, like, did you have a worry? And once you started walking, you're thinking, I didn't need to worry about that.
Well, I kind of went into it without having really read very much about the Camino. So our first Camino was in 2016, and I wasn't on any Facebook groups or anything like that. So
Wow.
what I understood about the Camino was very, very little. So I didn't have a huge amount of worry because I hadn't really overthought it before I went. I just kind of knew I wanted to go. So my main worry was in the first couple of days when I realized it was I was planning a walk, and when I realized it was a kind of pilgrimage, I was quite worried about that. I thought, oh, I don't know if I want this to be a communal experience with strangers and people speaking to me. I was quite kind of buttoned up, and I wasn't sure
Mm,
how I felt about that. And that was my main worry those first couple of days was, is somebody going to start singing Kumbaya with me, and is this going to be really uncomfortable? And it wasn't, those worries I completely shed on the walk, and I
mm,
completely embraced the sort of communal aspect of it. And there was a real kind of softening of my heart that happened that
mm,
was just glorious. So those
mm,
worries, I suppose it was good that I had the worries, because then something really shifted in me as
mm.
I walked.
Oh boy. Okay. I'm going to want to dive into that when we have the book club because that is very interesting. Okay. But next, since we're just doing the quick 20 Camino questions, do you have just a couple of quick tips that you would give to first time walkers? Somebody who's sitting here watching us and they're like, yeah, I
Yeah.
really want to walk, but what would you tell them?
Well, firstly, just do it. Just do it. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Just
Mm,
go for it. And even if you think you're not fit enough, you get fit on the way. Don't let things hold you back. Don't think everything has to be perfect for you to set off on the walk. And secondly, pack as light as you can. If you can make your pack under 6 kilograms, it will make a huge difference to how you feel on the walk. And so take absolutely the minimum, because you need so little, and that is part of the joy of the walk, really. Oh, my dog has joined us.
my
Sorry.
dog's right behind us, so he may join as well. We love having dogs at the Camino Cafe. So, well, let me ask you, was there anything you took on that first Camino that you ended up throwing away or giving away or saying, oh, why did I bring this?
um, on this last Camino, I was persuaded to take a giant long extension cable to charge my phone. A like really long one, like 2 meters long or maybe 3 meters long. And I really, really didn't need it. And I should have shed it halfway. I'm too, I'm too tight-fisted to get rid of it. So I carried it the whole way. I absolutely didn't need it. On the first walk, I think I took some toiletries that I dropped them in the bin in Roncesvalles. There's a big bin that people put their
Yeah.
sort of conditioner and things in, and I think I had like a moisturizer and a conditioner or something that I just left there. I didn't need any of that. My hair
Oh,
survived.
beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. What was your favorite thing about your most recent Camino or first or last pilgrimage?
Actually, I was completely blown away by seeing Finisterre, the lighthouse at Finisterre, as I came round the corner. We were in sort of a long kind of path with lots of vegetation on either side, and it clears at the end, and you see the
Yeah.
lighthouse, and it was actually a really, really moving moment, almost as moving as seeing the cathedral in Santiago. It felt really wonderful to be at the sea after that long journey
Yes.
west. Seeing it felt absolutely wonderful. Really a moving moment.
Hmm. And when you think back to that very first Camino, what was the most difficult thing for you?
I had a tendonitis in my shin, particularly my right shin, and it was pretty painful. And
Mm,
it didn't. It was the sort of last third of the journey. So I think from from Leon onwards. It sort of started in Leon and got gradually worse towards the end. And there were moments, particularly in the morning, where I thought, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep on going. Luckily,
Yeah.
the person I was walking with was a physio. My friend, my best friend is a physio, so everybody should be able to walk with Ali because she's like a Camino saint, and she figured out all kinds of strappings that got me there. And if I wasn't with Ali, I'm pretty certain I wouldn't have made it to Santiago. So
Mm.
there were moments where pain proved something really to wrestle with, and my relationship with pain really shifted.
Fascinating. Yeah. Well, we're going to dive into that during book club for sure. You know, now that you've walked a couple of Caminos, are you the kind of pilgrim that books ahead, or do you just leave your lodging to chance? What are you more comfortable with?
Well, it's quite funny because I'm definitely somebody who is absolutely happy to leave it to chance and just see what happens. And if it was me walking solo, that's definitely how I would do it. But my
Hmm.
friend Ali, who walked with me the whole way on the Frances, um, is less free, easygoing, I would say. And towards the end of the walk, from Saria onwards, she was really keen that we book. And this time on the Portuguese, a number of people had advised us that it's harder to get accommodation on the Portuguese. So we booked in advance on the Portuguese, and actually it was very nice.
Yeah.
It was lovely to just not have that worry. I adjusted very quickly to that easy. That also felt easy going because we didn't have to think about it. It's good. But I think if I was doing another Camino in Spain on my own, especially if you're a one, it's quite easy to get a bed for one. If there's four of you, it's harder to get a bed for
Good
four.
point.
Next time, I would also just go with the flow and see what the Camino provides me with.
Are you a bunk bed kind of gal or private room, or are we talking a parador anytime one's available? And no shaming anyone, no shaming.
No, well, on the last one, on the Portuguese, I did with the sturdy girls, with my three best friends. We did a real mixture. So we had lots of dorms and bunk beds, and a couple of private, because on the Portuguese it's more difficult to find
Yeah.
albergues. So there were a couple of sort of private albergues where we had rooms for four, and we finished in the Parador in Santiago, which
Ooh.
we didn't do the last time. So I've done a bit of everything, and they're all lovely in their own way.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
about like luggage transfer? How do you feel about that? Have you used it? Are you just like, no, I've got to carry everything kind of
yeah.
pilgrim?
We haven't used it. Carried our own things, and for me, because it's a kind of, the walk is a sort of meditation. There was a kind of a kind of austerity in carrying everything that you need, and um, it was a way for me to let go of things that don't matter by carrying everything I need on my back. And I really enjoyed that, and it felt to me like a really important part of my journey. But I have absolutely no problem with anyone doing the Camino in any way that they choose. The most important thing is to be there and to be walking.
Yes.
It's I, what it's none of my business what anybody else does with their luggage. And I find it really upsetting actually on the Camino forums where people kind of wade in and start criticizing other people's choices. Just I don't know why that would be of any interest to anybody, what anybody else is doing with their luggage.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know
Yeah,
why. And you know,
yeah,
we never know what someone's full story, right?
exactly.
And
Yeah,
there's many reasons that you might choose to do a
yeah,
Camino in a certain way at a certain point
yeah,
in your life. So I think giving each
yeah,
other the space to do that. And that's what I hope with these 20 Camino
yeah,
questions that we get across, right? Is like
yeah,
it's your own
absolutely.
Camino, right?
Yeah, although in the
Oh,
beginning, when Ali and I were talking about it, we had both said, "Oh no, we won't carry our luggage, and we'll get it transferred." And then we thought, "Oh, maybe we could." And I thought in the beginning that I wouldn't be able to do it. I just thought, "Oh, I
yeah.
can't do the walking and carry my luggage." And actually, there was something really wonderful and really empowering in discovering that I could do it. So,
Yes.
you know, I suppose if I was giving anybody advice, it would be give it a go, because you don't have to book it in advance, the luggage transfer.
Yes.
So
Good point.
you could take your luggage and carry it for a couple of days, and if you're feeling good, carry on, and if not, then get the transfer.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you said that because I mean, it's true. What if you all of a sudden you're having some kind of injury, like you talked about
Yeah,
the
exactly.
tendonitis? A
Yeah,
great opportunity is you can go ahead
yeah,
and ship some things on for a couple of days and let your body heal and maybe still
yeah.
walk some mileage or whatever if needed. All right. What's your favorite food and drink to have while you're walking a Camino?
Well, there are so many. There are so many of the Spanish foods that I absolutely love. But I think probably the gambas al ajillo, the prawns and garlic, is probably my absolute favorite. If I was doing a little tapas night somewhere like Logroño, that would be the prawns and garlic.
Mm,
If I had to pick just one thing, I did have a
perfect.
meal in I forget the name of the town now. I've forgotten the name of it, but where we'd had a really difficult day and we had a plate of just grilled red peppers that were probably the most delicious thing I ate on the Camino. They were just like heaven. They were so soft and garlic and oil and oh, they were just exactly what we needed to be provided with that night. They were heaven.
Do you have a special drink, are
Oh
you
yes,
just
we
water
yes.
only, or what do you
No,
serve
we
it?
worshipped at the shrine of San Miguel every single night.
I love it. Love it. Are you an early riser and you skip breakfast and eat a little later? Or are you the kind of pilgrim that eats a little bit in the morning and then has that infamous second pilgrim breakfast?
Well, we were early risers. I liked walking at dawn. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. But I am also somebody who likes to eat. So I got really grumpy if that breakfast didn't arrive fairly quickly. If it was beyond sort of 5 or 6 kilometers, it wasn't
Mhm.
really good company until we got to the coffee and the Neapolitana.
I
So,
agree.
so I'm a bit of both. But I did like to be up and out early and see the sunrise.
Yeah, those sunrises. If you
Yeah.
could go back and tell yourself just one thing before that first Camino, what would you have told yourself?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think I would have just said, just be open to it all. Just have no expectations and just see what's coming your way
Mm,
and just
mm,
open your heart to it all.
wonderful. And for you, Carrie, if you had to give 3 words that would define what a pilgrim is to you, what would you say?
Accepting, um, kind,
Mm,
welcoming.
accepting, kind, and welcoming. Final question. Why should people come to the book club meeting on Saturday? What are they going to learn?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I can share my story, and if that in any way inspires people to go and walk the way, then I really, really hope they come because the point of writing the book was really just to share a bit of the magic of the Camino and the impact that it had on me and the changes it precipitated in my life. And talking about the Camino with people who are interested, you meet kind of like-minded souls. So hopefully at the Camino group there'll be a group of people talking Camino and sharing in that kind of warmth and magic that comes from that Camino space.
You have 2 times to sign up. Make sure you pre-register, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you. Look, it's going to be so much fun, and please come Saturday. All right, everyone. Till next time, buen camino.
Buen Camino.
With my feathers